Hey, Telesales champions, what's going on? I'm going to be going over today how to transition from the field to telesales. I did it. I know plenty of people who have done it for final expense, so we're going to be covering that. If you find value in this video, please subscribe to my channel, hit the like button, turn on post notifications, and show your boy some love. I appreciate it, and I apologize in advance. My hair is all over the place today. When you grow in a mullet, there are some challenges that you face. Just like there's going to be some challenges going into the telesales from the field. Look, you grow a mullet out, there's a lot of pressure on you every day to perform. So I'm going to be going over the pressures that are going to be on you to perform every day when you're selling over the phone versus selling face to face. Okay, so number one, if you have a dog at home, the dog is going to bother the crap out of you every moment of your day. This is the most needy creature on planet Earth. Her name is Leia, but she supported me all the way through my telesales journey. So now that she's gone, look, there are some cautions I want to go over with you here. Now, first thing I'm just going to say right off the bat is do not get into telesales if you are looking for an easier journey in the insurance industry. Because it is not easier. It is more challenging. It is harder to sell insurance on the phone than face-to-face, plain and simple. If it wasn't, no one would sell face-to-face, right? Like, who wants to drive around in a car all day? No one. So, well, maybe you do, but I know I didn't, especially down here in South Florida. Traffic's crazy, people are crazy, and it is hot. It's harder. You're going to have to put in a lot of work and time and energy and effort, and you're going to have to put into time and energy and effort into training and learning. And there's going to be discouraging. Just as it's discouraging in the field when someone doesn't show up for an appointment, it's discouraging on the phone when someone says, yeah, I want to do it, and then they hang up on you for no reason. Or you're getting all this pushback and you can't understand why. So telesales comes with its own set of challenges, and so does face-to-face. So some of the differences that I have encountered and that I encountered when I first started. Look, in the field, when you sell face-to-face, it's much easier to establish trust, okay? Because you're going to someone's house, they see who you are, they know you're a real person, you can wear a name badge, you get all your legit stuff from the carriers, you get the brochures, you get the stuff on the computer, you get your iPad, you get all this stuff that you can show them, okay? So when you're on the phone, all they're doing is taking your word. Now, people believe what they see for the most part, not what they hear. All right, so over the phone, it's going to be much harder for you to establish trust in the client to get them to trust you with their personal information. I rarely ever had someone tell me in the field that they don't give out their social. And if they did, I think one or two people told me, and it was an easy thing to overcome. They turn my iPad around. Here's the application we're filling out, ma'am. That's it. You're going to get that all the time on the phone. I don't give my social out on the phone. At least when you start. Once you get experience, it kind of goes away as your confidence increases, but that trust is a lot harder to build over the phone. So you're going to have to be prepared to build that trust with tonality, with knowledge, and by getting people to like you very, very quickly. Number two, look, in the field, the client knows you're coming over. Like, they know you're going there to sell them insurance. I don't care how smooth your appointment setting process is. I'm just going to drop off the information. I'm going to be in the area. Oh, I sold insurance to your neighbor. I figured it could be valuable to you. Oh, there's these new state-approved programs. It's just my job to deliver the information. Look, they know you are going to sell them a product. Plain and simple, for the most part. No matter how smooth I was, they had an idea I was going there to sell them insurance. At the end of the day, they knew it was insurance, and they knew that it's something that you typically have to pay for. So what am I getting at there? What I'm getting at is when you go to someone's house for an appointment to sell them insurance, they know you're there to sell them something. So it's like they're kind of already through the buying process. Like if they didn't want insurance at all, they would have never filled out the direct mail card, or they didn't want anything to cover their burial. Let's just say that, because we know how ambiguous these marketing programs can be. So if they didn't want anything to cover their burial, and they didn't think that there was any sort of risk that their family would have to cover, or that their family has to be covered for, they wouldn't be inviting us over their house. So the need is there. We know the need is established, and they are aware of it. So all it really comes down to is, do they like you? Does the program and the pricing make sense? And can they qualify for it? That's it. Now, I'm making it seem like it's not as easy as that in the field, but it kind of is. Like, all I'm saying is that they're farther through the buying process at that point. They invited you over their house. They said, yeah, you can come here around this time. Or if you door knock, you know that you're right there with them, okay? They know you're there to sell them. At that point, too, when someone knows that you're coming over for something that has to do with insurance or something that's probably going to cost money, I rarely ran into the I can't find my account information and I can't figure out how to get my bank account information when I was face-to-face. That wasn't too common of a thing. It's pretty common on the phone, especially when you start. You're going to experience that. So I either say, hey, on the phone they're lying because they don't trust me as much, or when I'm in the house, I could help them find it. I got my bank statement right here. I don't know what I'm looking at. And then you can jump in and help find the account number. So that whole thing of like going over their house and them knowing you're coming over to talk about insurance already kind of breaks the barrier, so you're partway through the sales process before you even step in the door. Another thing, face-to-face, it's easier to get referrals because you're right there and you have that level of trust. If you can get someone to laugh better, you can talk about their family members. They got pictures of people around the house. They're talking about who they did this and that with that. You can use that information to ask for referrals, and there's different tactics that you can use in the house to get referrals that are a little bit more difficult to do over the phone. You can still get referrals over the phone, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying I was able to get referrals easier face-to-face, 100%. Another thing too, I mean, honestly, face-to-face, like I said I don't like driving around, but I like to be out and about. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, like I would rather be out in an open area than in an enclosed area. It's just, I think that's only natural. People like to be in the environment, right? So it's kind of cool when you go out and about and see different places. But if you're in a city or in an inner city and the traffic's crazy and the people are grouchy, it's not as fun. So there are some kind of trade-offs to that as well. In the field, you're going to get a higher percentage of leads that convert. Okay, so when you're in the field, you're going to get more of your leads are going to convert, hands down. You're going to have a higher closing percentage with your leads. That is a perk to being out in the field. But in telesales, you don't have to spend a ton of money on direct mail leads, which are really expensive. You can get leads that are cheaper, and you can still have a really good conversion ratio if you just have higher activity levels. So you're going to talk to more people. You're going to make way more phone calls in telesales. If you made 100 dials to set appointments on your appointment setting day, face-to-face, well, get ready to make 300 phone calls every single day in telesales. Another thing, distractions, right? So if you're in a client's house and things are going on and you can tell they're distracted, that like maybe they don't care you're there. But from my experience, for the most part, if I was in someone's house, I mean, they would turn down the TV. If someone was loud, they ask them to be quiet. They would put the kids in another room. They would have people go in another room. So it was just that full attention with myself and the person, the prospect, who was looking for the information on the insurance. When you're on the phone with them, it's really easy for them to just get distracted with other people in the house, with the television. Other people on the phone can just run in and shut down the deal because they're like, hey, who's this talking to my wife, husband, mom, brother, sister on the phone about insurance, right? Who's this person trying to rip them off? When you're in the home, face-to-face, that person can be there and it's more collaborative, right? And you want to have the decision, you want to have both decisions maker there, but all I'm saying is on the phone, it's much easier for that other party to be a buzzkill than it is face-to-face. And when you're face-to-face, it's much less. I rarely ran into the situation where like someone in the house shut the deal down. I ran into that like once or twice maybe. But on the phone, it happens a lot more frequently because the trust just isn't there. They don't know you're a random person talking to them on the phone. So be prepared to run in to other people in the house shutting the deal down on you if you're transitioning from field sales to telesales. Another thing, it's much easier for the client to see information that you can provide them. So when you go into a house in field sales, right, you have your iPad, your computer, your brochures from the carrier, whatever it is, a sample policy. You have information that you can show them that has like the company logo and is like 100% legit, and they see you professional with professional materials. So you can use the marketing materials right directly in front of the client for them to see. So they can see exactly what you're saying. Like when you go through the different benefits of the policy, I used to have a laminated piece of paper and then I put it on an iPad. Hey, this is the features of your policy right here. When you are on the phone, there are some technology tools that you use, but you really have to build that trust and get someone to like you really fast so that they trust that what you're telling them is actually part of their policy. So that's a challenge too that you're going to run into when you transition from field sales to telesales, is that you don't have those same marketing tools that you do face-to-face. Hands down. You run a quote, you got to tell them what you see, right? On an iPad, it's these are the rates, which one do you want, right? So there's different, like you can't present information the same way over the phone. So be prepared to have people not trust you as much because they're taking your word for it, okay? And you're going to be prepared to handle the objection better that's going to come up at the end. Also, another thing, I know I keep saying another thing, I don't even know how many things I've talked about at this point. In the field sales to telesales, a challenge that you're going to run into when going from the field to the phone is that you're not there to help the client resolve any technical issues they may run into. So, for instance, some applications still require the client to sign on paper. Some applications still require the client to sign an email. if not on paper, on the iPad, right? So when you are on the phone, you have to have a client, in order for them to do those things, they have to be kind of tech savvy. Their phone can die. They can have an old cell phone. No one's phone is going to die in an appointment face-to-face that's going to ruin your appointment. Vending's going to help you because no one's going to call them to bug them. So you can help them deal with technology. If it's emails, if it's text messages, if it's signing, anything like that. It's just much easier to help them use the tools to get the job done and get the application submitted when you're face-to-face than it is over the phone. And they can't hang up on the PHI either. When you do the health interview, a PHI is like a personal history interview, I believe, where they ask them the health questions on the application. Some of you may use Aptical, MRS. There are a bunch of carriers most carriers use them. When you're face-to-face, no matter how boring it is, you can just sit there and you can kind of make fun of the interviewer or get the client to laugh or keep them focused, and you just got the phone right there if they're doing the PHI right there. When you are over the phone, that client can get upset, that client can get grouchy, that client can get bored, they can hang up the phone, their phone can die. So you're never going to have that face-to-face. So that's something you're going to have to look out for is, hey, like, I'm going to have to keep this person on the phone through the whole interview. So you want to interject stuff throughout the interview to be like, make them laugh, make a joke, encourage them, hey, you're doing such a good job, so that they don't hang up. So, and also face-to-face, if you dress nice, you look presentable, and you go up to someone's house, you smile, you shake their hand, you say something nice to them, you compliment them, you walk inside, you get them to like you real quick, it's much easier. You can be more presentable to someone, and that human interaction is there that's not there on the phone. On the phone, it's 100% tonality, so face-to-face, you can be monotone and still do pretty well. On the phone, if you're monotone on the phone, you're done for. You're not making sales. So you got to be way more enthusiastic on the phone. Almost enthusiastic to the point where if you were that enthusiastic face-to-face, they'd be like, dude, this guy's on some medications. This dude's on more medications than me. and a lot of our clients are on some hefty pills. So you got to make sure that you are using different things to get the client to like you. It's all going to be tone and things that you say. It's going to be an act for you. When you go to their house, you're the professional insurance agent who's pretty cool, right? When you're on the phone, you got to be the friend who sells insurance. That's really, but it's like sticking to them and has permission to fire and tell them straight. So you're going to have to work on that. And you're going to have to get better at handling rebuttals, 100%. Because face-to-face, if you got a bunch of appointments during the day and someone, like when I had a ton of appointments set up and someone was like giving me a bunch of pushback, it's like, bro, you set the appointment, I came to your house, I showed you everything, I'm fully transparent, you're still giving me pushback after I try to handle a couple objections, I'm out of there. I got to go to my next appointment. On the phone, you want to just keep hitting them with those rebuttals because the trust level isn't as high with you. So you don't know if it's just a trust factor or what it really is as to why they're not buying insurance, okay? So you want to get much better at your objections, and you can practice those. And you can check my objections video. There's going to be a little thing that pops up here that's going to tell you what to click on. You can also find it in the description of the video, my objections video, and you can watch that on how to handle the objections and final expense telesales. I covered just about every single one of them. So look, now we're getting to I told you pretty much things that you're going to have to be warned about, or that you're going to have to look out for, and things that can come up that can negatively impact your transition to field and telesales. Now let's talk about some of the perks. Well, look at no driving around. You can wake up, you can sit there in your PJs. I always dressed up though, even if I was on the phone. You can wake up, wear whatever the heck you want, like, whatever. Just have your coffee, sit there. You don't got to worry about coffee breath and talking to clients. You can just sit there and do your stuff at home, and it's comfortable. You can be right at the comfort of your own home, okay? Another thing, you can get in touch with more people on the phone, hands down. You can make a lot more phone calls. You can get in touch with more people, especially if you buy aged leads. Aged leads, I have a great results with on the phone. I don't mind calling it an aged lead or a new lead. This is an aged lead. Here, this dog will not leave me alone. Okay. So you're gonna make a lot of phone calls, okay? So I don't mind. I'd rather make a ton of phone calls than drive a ton of miles. That's just me. I have no problem ripping out calls. Another perk of telesales, you're gonna become a better salesperson. Like, selling over the phone is harder than face-to-face. So you're going to become better at selling on the phone. So if you did decide to run some appointments face-to-face, you're gonna notice that your closing ratio is going to increase. Now, another thing is a good thing, a benefit of having gone from being in the field to transitioning to over the phone is that you're going to understand the importance of keeping your presentations concise, especially if you run a bunch of appointments in a day. If you got 10 or 12 appointments booked in a day, you can't sit there for an hour and a half and talk to someone about their grandkids. I find a lot of telesales agents who start out sit there on the phone for 60, 70, 80, 90 minutes talking about their grandkids. And next thing you know, the person gets deal fatigue and they don't want to buy anymore because they've been talking to someone for too long. So when you are transitioning from the field to phone sales, you understand the importance of sticking to the presentation, bringing them through your presentation, keeping it short, sweet, and concise. I think that helped me transition from the field to telesales because I wasn't sitting there just chatty Cathy with people. I talked enough to build a relationship the same way I did in the home. If I went in and I saw a picture, I saw an ornament or something hanging on the wall, or they had something of their grandkids or something there, I build a relationship on the phone the same way, but I don't let it take the whole conversation. Now, how to make the transition effectively from the field to the phone. Number one, commit right now to Maniac level activity. So Maniac level activity. What I mean by that, Maniac level activity for training, for role playing, and for your dials, and for just ridiculous conviction that you're going to persist and push through the close. So you gotta be like, get that, like, I'm gonna just totally crush it if you want to crush it on the phone, okay? And second thing, choose the right mentor. Please, for the love of your God, whichever one you believe in, please choose a good mentor. Choose someone who has been doing this. This is not a pitch from me for me to be your upline or to recruit you or anything. If I can help you, I will. Meaning, if I can help you learn how to do this, I would love to help you do this. But say you have an upline and they do field sales and they're crushing field sales. Well, you know what? Maybe you should find someone in your IMO who's doing well with telesales, and maybe they can help you, right? Maybe they can give you some advice and shed some light on it to be able to help you with what you need. So make sure you find the right mentor and someone who can point you in the right direction, because I have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars, literally, and spent countless hours and mistakes that, like, I just want to be able to provide to you guys. And if anybody crushes it in telesales for a few years, I promise they can attest the same thing. They've made a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of stuff that they can teach you so you don't run into those mistakes on your own. So please find someone who's doing well, reach out to them, find someone who has what you want. That's it. Find someone who has what you want. If you want a telesales agency, find someone who has a telesales agency, right? If you want a large team, find someone who's got a large team, ask them for help. If you want someone who's crushing it in sales, find someone who's crushing it in sales, need for help. Ask them for help. Okay, if you find someone who's helping someone crushing it in sales, hey, ask them if they can help you. Next thing, train every day. I know I've already said this, but you want to train every day, multiple times a day. In the morning, you want to train. In the afternoon, you want to train. At night, you want to train. So little training sessions where you go on YouTube. I use Cardone University, Belfort Straight Line System, learning little pieces of information that you can apply right away to your sales. That's huge. So when you train, you want to write down what you learn, and then how can I use this? And make a conscious effort to apply the information that you learn in your sales. Because knowledge without application is useless, right? I mean, it's like knowing how to make a sandwich, but you never make a sandwich, so you starve to death. You got the bread, you got the ham, you got the mayonnaise, you forgot how to put it together. Well, I'm giving you the ingredients here, folks. Put together the telesale sandwich. The telesandwich. Role play. So an important part of training is role playing. What's role playing mean? You call someone on the phone, you practice some rebuttals, you practice some objections. They give you objections, and then you give them rebuttals. Back and forth, back and forth. You go through presentations with them. You practice with people. Don't practice on your leads. Practice with people. Your leads are money. You only got one chance with your leads. You can get a million chances with a friend. And when you are role-playing with a friend, pick a partner to role-play with. Make sure that you are pretty tough on them. Give them the objections you're going to get in the call. Don't make it easy. Don't make it a cakewalk. And if they don't handle the objection properly like that, fail them, restart. Another way to make the transition effectively from field sales to telesales is make sure that you're listening to your call recordings. Record your calls however you can. Find a way to record your calls. I use a CRM called VanillaSoft. I can record calls if I want, and I can go in and I can listen to them to do some play-by-play feedback, and I can listen to my calls. I can listen to my agent's calls, and I can listen to see, hey, like, where do I need to improve? What did I say that I shouldn't have said? What did I say that sounded real good, that got a good response from the client? So you want to listen to your recordings of your presentations and go in and dissect, what did I do wrong? Okay, this is going to take a full commitment here. Like I said, it's not easier than selling in the field. They both have their own challenges. The field can be tough, the phone can be tough. They're each going to have their own unique set of challenges. And also, next thing, number 5, invest in technology. Okay, number 5 or 6 now. Invest in technology. Get a good computer. If you have a slow computer, please just don't sell on the phone with a slow computer. If you're using a CRM, buy a CRM. If you're trying to sell on the phone on your cell phone, I wouldn't even mess with it. I wouldn't. I would sell. I couldn't do it. You want to get a CRM, VanillaSoft, Five9, Go High Level, whichever one you want to use. You have to sell through a CRM and a VoIP line. Invest in that. Invest in a fast computer. I don't care if you have to finance it. Take a loan out on a 60-month loan for $20 a month on a $1,000 rocket ship computer, laptop. Do it, because it's going to make your productivity so much higher. Think about it. If you pay $100 a month for a CRM, $20 a month for a computer, and then you buy some other stuff, a nice headset, stuff like that. If it helps you make 2 more sales a month, you're like making way more of a profit on it. So it's not an expense, it's an investment. You want to have a good headset as well. I did a review of my favorite headsets, the favorite cheap one and my favorite expensive, like really nice one. This is one I use right here. Logitech, it's a Jabra Evolve 75. It's my favorite wireless headset. It's about $300. You can probably get them on eBay for like $200 if you find them somewhere. I don't know, maybe someone's getting rid of one. The other one, check out the video I have. Just go on my channel, search for headset, and you'll find it right there. Also, invest in leads. You're going to want to invest in a lot of leads. You're going to want to get a lot of aged leads too. A lot of aged telemarketing leads. I'm telling you may say, I don't want to make a ton of phone calls and call aged leads. Well, then don't get into telesales independent. Like plain and simple. If you're not willing to make hundreds of phone calls a day, do not get into telesales. Unless you're in an IMO that has inbound transfers super cheap, or you're a beast on the phone already and you can handle live transfers like a pro, because don't get live transfers if you can't make outbound sales, or they have telemarketing leads. Television leads. So if you're getting inbound calls from television, that's a really good lead. Then you'd want to do that. But look, you're going to have something to fill the gaps there. You're going to want to buy aged telemarketing leads to make those calls out. Another thing, you want to have 2 monitors, at least 2 monitors. So I have 3 monitors on my computer. I have my computer and 2 other ones, but you're going to want to have at least your computer and 1 other monitor so you can juggle between different screens. You won't have time. It increases your productivity so much. So you're going to want to get a nice computer. You're going to want to get a nice headset. You're going to want to get a second monitor. You're going to want to get the right leads, and you're going to want to get a CRM, okay? Hey, even pay a trainer if you need to, or a mentor. I don't know, whatever. Set a 6-month goal for yourself, please. Set a 6-month goal. Don't be like, I'm going to try this out for a week and see if it happens. Like, no. Like, I'm going to work harder at this for the next 6 months than anything I've ever worked at in my entire life. Going to go crazy, obsessed. This is my commitment level because this is what I got to do to make my dreams happen and accomplish my goals. I need that level of commitment out of you when you get into telesales, because that's what it's going to take to be a beast on the phone. Last thing, if you have sold in the field for a long time, this is a gem here for you guys. If you've sold in the field for a long time, it's a secret. If you've sold in the field for a long time, go to the carriers, have them send you lists or find in your carrier portals lists of your existing clients, call them to upsell them policy once every 6 months. It's an absolute gold mine. If you've been selling in the field for a few years and you're not working your existing client base, you're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. That is no exaggeration. If you've been in the field for a while, it can be tough driving all around to existing clients, but when you're on the phone, you can call them all in a short amount of time, within, depending on how many you have, a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I promise you, if you have been selling in the field for a few years and you have a large book of existing clients, and then you just start doing telesales to them, trying to upsell them, get them back on the books or get for referrals, you're probably going to have some of the biggest weeks you've ever had in your entire life selling insurance. Sounds crazy. It happens with our agents here at SLS all the time. They have their biggest months when they work their existing clients. So those are some tips for you. I hope you guys make the transition smooth from field sales to telesales, or if you're thinking about it, those are some things you're going to have to look out for. Those are some of the differences, and those are some things of how you make the transition effectively, how I made it effectively. If you have any questions, please reach out to me, jve@thejve.com. I'd be more than happy to run a 10 to 20 minute free training consultation with you. Let me know. All right, I'm here to help. So I'm more than happy to email me if you would like a 15-minute training consultation. I'd be more than happy to run through whatever you want to run through with me and run by me. It's totally free. I'm not going to try to recruit you. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. Just reach out to me, see if I can help you in any way. I would love to win through you. So hit me up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much.